What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of the Van GDT show. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about states, emotional states that are a daily part of our life, right? Business, personal life, family life, anything. And before we start, I want you to think about some situation, maybe even today or yesterday or recently, where you had a situation where you had a problem that you wanted to deal with. And as human beings, we are problem solvers, especially men, right? We want to solve problems right away, instantly, right? As soon as it comes, as soon as we hear about it. But have you had a problem lately that you wanted to solve and you started to think about it, but the more you thought about it, first and foremost, that problem put you in a bad emotional state, right? So you were fearful or doubtful, or you just one of those emotions, maybe anxiety, maybe not maybe so strong, but it's one of those bad emotional states that makes you you will start looking down, and you slouch your shoulders, and you're just not physically at your peak, and mentally definitely not at your peak, and you want to solve a problem from that emotional state. And the more you think about it, the less you feel like you're closer to actually solving the problem. Actually, from that bad emotional state that the problem puts you in, that you allow that problem to put you in, the less likely you are actually to solve the problem. Actually, the more you try, the farther away you get away from the solution, because there is absolutely no way. Look, from that bad emotional state, you just cannot solve. There's no solution that is gonna come into your mind at that moment that's gonna help you positively solve that situation in the best possible scenario for you and all the people involved, right? So what happens in most of the cases, you leave more frustrated, more angry, more fearful, more doubtful from that thought process, actually trying to solve that situation or problem, than before you came in. That if you think about it from one of your recent situations, that probably is the case, and it always is the case. So what I suggest here, and this is something that I started doing, and it's always a struggle, right? So this is part of my strategy. Uh, I recognize their problem, and I recognize the bad emotional state that it puts me instantly, right? And instantly I see that, I'm looking down, my shoulders are slouched, and start getting into my head, and I start thinking about the problem. And from that bad emotional state, I'm trying to solve the problem, and nothing's coming up, and I feel the frustration and the anger bottling up in me, and it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. And I actually mastered that process, throughout the years. I've actually became a master of making a problem worse, getting from that, actually making the situation worse than it is, just because I wanted to really solve that problem right away from the situation that I was in, from the mental state that I was in. So then I started developing strategies. So the first thing that happens, I recognize the bad state that I'm in, and I ask myself the question, how can I put myself in a better emotional state? What can I do? What can I do to put myself in a good feeling state? And these are part of my strategies. And for the worst possible scenario, when you're really feeling down, and you put yourself in a really bad emotional state trying to solve the problem, sometimes the best and the only solution, trust me on this, is to take a nap, right? Reset. So because when you take a nap for an hour or two, or even better, when you go to sleep at night and when you wake up in the morning, you're resetted, right? Your system is rebooted, and you can find new creative ways how to solve that problem. So sometimes that is the ultimate end plan if it gets really 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 bad for you. But some other possible strategies is whatever makes you and puts you in a good mood. Just like move away from the problem. You're immersed in the problem. You gotta step away from the problem and from you, and you gotta look it up from a different perspective. You gotta start seeing it from a perspective of 100 yards, 50 yards, or above from you, or 100 yards. You just need to look at the situation from that perspective. And first thing, you need to move away from the problem. And some good strategies are whatever puts you in a good feeling state. Maybe it's listening to good music. Maybe it's listening to some inspiring audio tapes, or reading a good book, or maybe going out for a walk with your loved ones, or maybe walking a dog, maybe walking a cat. Maybe watching a good series on TV that makes you happy. That just dissociates you away from the problem, so you can start working on your state. And the best thing to also start working on your state to put yourself in a better emotional state is movement, right? Because emotion comes from motion. So if you're in one place and you're not moving and you're not doing anything, there's little or zero chance that you're gonna there's any chance that you're gonna put yourself in a better emotional state. So you need to start thinking about ways how you can instantly, and it doesn't happen in 5-10 minutes, it happens instantly, how you can maybe get up, start moving, how you can start doing some things that make you happy, that put you in a good emotional state. And then when you start transition into it, and sometimes it might take 1 minute, sometimes it might take the whole day, but get yourself in a good emotional state. And then from that emotional state, you will get creative ideas and problem solving solutions that are gonna get you the positive outcome that you wanted. And actually, that's not just good for you, but for all the people involved. Do not try to solve problems from a bad emotional state. Get away from it. First and foremost, now recognize it, start recognizing it, and then recognize that you will not find a solution from this, at least not any solution that is going to be worthwhile and good for you and good for the people involved. No, find strategies for you, and some good strategies I mentioned. Find good strategies for you that are going to dissociate you away from the problem, your current problem, just so you can put yourself in a good emotional state. And then from that higher plane, from that 50 yards, 100 yards away, 1 kilometer above from the ground, looking at the situation from a different perspective, then go into the problem solving. And I guarantee you the solutions are going to come effortlessly if you decide to act upon the ideas that come to you from that plane, from that good emotional state. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and excited for episode 4. Have a great day.